Hello, 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 and welcome to a special edition of the Unleashed Weekly Playtest. The playtest where y'all join me, Irena, the CEO of Unleashed Games, live as we playtest Haven and bring on guests to kind of let them play too and give us their perspective and feedback. And we take that and incorporate it into our priorities and some changes that we might make to our game. Because you see, we are an early stage startup, and what you're seeing is us playing a prototype that we have built with a small investment from our friends over at A16Z and a bunch of other phenomenal angels that support us. And right now, speaking of support, the reason why this is a special edition of the Unleashed stream is because right now I am at the Cambridge Innovation Center, CIC as it's known, here in Providence, Rhode Island. And we've been invited to be featured during Rhode Island Startup Week, where we are one of a number of Rhode Island startups we have a table and a presence here at the Innovators Showcase, where we'll get to meet legislators, we'll get to meet venture capital, we'll get to meet other founders here in the area and get to connect and learn about the amazing technology innovation that is happening here in this tiny little state of Rhode Island. I recently have gotten involved with a group called the New England Institute of Technology. They are a local university that focuses on technology, whether it's robotics, nursing, and health technologies, or the best part is that they have an incredible game development program where you can learn art, VR development, engineering, all these things. It's really, really cool. And they have a group specifically focused on video game production. And so they were able to get us this really great slot to be able to really connect and meet potential investors here. So cross your fingers for us and wish us luck. That literally happens like right after the stream. Like we have to go and unload my van in about 15 minutes and get some PCs set up for us to be able to show people Haven and for people locally to actually play. So we're very excited. Thank you so much to our friends who keep coming back week after week, supporting us. Tozeb, it's great to see you as always. We really appreciate your continuous support and the partnership that we have, because we both have like a love for 38 Studios and Amalur and Copernicus, Project Copernicus, as it was known when we were developing it. And those of you who are new, welcome and thank you. Thank you for being here. And if you haven't already, please make sure to like and subscribe so that you can get notified of every time we go live, which is every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. And who knows where we stream from week to week, or who we have as a guest. So who is our guest this week? Well, I'm really excited to introduce our new friend. We connected over LinkedIn, and he reached out over like just resonating with what it is that we were building. And when we talked, I think we just clicked and got very excited about working together and helping bring Haven to life. But he hasn't played Haven yet. So here we are with a greenie and an amazing games and systems designer, Tyler Diaz joins us. Hello, Tyler. Welcome. There we are.
Oh, there I am. Hello.
Hi, welcome to the Unleashed stream. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing so well. I'm super excited. I had to chuckle because I haven't heard the term greenie in a while.
You're a Haven noob.
Yeah, I love
This
that.
goes on. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be derogatory though.
No, not at all. I just it kind of, there was a little bit of a nostalgia as well with the I feel like that's what we always called everyone that was new to MMOs, but this is great.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you're definitely not new to MMOs. You've actually got
True.
a pretty long history. What are some of your favorites?
I probably have the same exact answer as so many of us, but I am a big World of Warcraft fan. I started playing in, I think it had to have been 2007, maybe late 2007. So it was definitely during the Burning Crusade era. Um, and then maybe it was early 2008, because I think it might have been the same year that Wrath of the Lich King came out. So yeah, big World of Warcraft fan, been playing ever since then. And then I always just kind of, I try to dip my toes in as many as I can, as many as I can get. Lord of the Rings Online, which is still running today, and I still like have the original box when that came out in 2009 ish, somewhere around there.
What a
New
great game, though.
Yeah, New World is probably my favorite current or more recent MMO. I'm excited for the console launch later this year. MMOs are great. I just love them.
And what is it that you like about MMOs?
I think there's a few different things, a lot of different things. One, I love fantasy, and a lot of MMOs tend to lean towards that genre.
Legit reason, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, I just, I grew up in Lord of the Rings was my jam, and still is, and so it just kind of feels like, living out that fantasy. So I love that. I love the social aspect. I really can't speak enough, and I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about that in particular. But I think being able to just go on adventures with friends specifically is always a ton of fun. So
Yeah, no, kind of nailed it. So speaking of, MMOs and playing socially with other people, and you running into Haven, could you tell us how did you find us, and why did you reach out? What was it that struck you?
yeah, absolutely. So I saw Haven, Unleashed, and Haven's announcement a little over a year ago. And so I always just kind of kept tabs on LinkedIn, and followed along what was going on there. I myself, I'm 30, and I have two young kids, and
Hmm.
MMOs can be pretty time consuming. But as I get older and
Seriously.
my kids get older, the time that I have to spend grinding MMOs drastically decreases. And so yeah, and so you know as I followed along with Haven, and really learned more about the vision of the game, and what the goals were. I just loved the idea of like a family friendly, time conscious MMO that like you could still have fun, and you could still do the things that you would expect in an MMO, go on adventures and do dungeons and all these things. But I think it caters to maybe my generation, and kind of the realities of 2024, and we're busy adults, and so I just love that.
Yep. And that's the thing is, as we get older, our available time reduces. But we still love these games. We still want to play them. And games haven't figured out how to cut the grind. Well, other games we have. I can't wait for our friends who are tracking our development till they get to see the systems that we have in mind to be able to make that happen. But also, another really cool thing, Tyler, is we actually just did a deep dive last week on our vision deck and some of our class design and our concept art. Having been able to see behind the curtain, give us your impressions. What do you think?
Yeah, so I mean, for me, like when it comes to MMOs, or really just RPGs in general, like I get super excited and super nerdy. Like the first thing that I always look at is like, what are we doing with classes, and like what is the gameplay like, and what kind of spells and abilities and cool things am I going to be able to do. And so even though, like we talked about, it's like, okay, I don't have as much time to grind, and some of these MMOs can be really complex and really massive, and all of this, like I still want a game that is like really deep and engaging and has fun things to kind of figure out. And MMOs are kind of big puzzles, right?
Hmm.
And so would we, when I was able to kind of peek behind the curtain, and look at what Haven has planned in that aspect, like with the classes and some of the systems and things like that. I'm like, oh, okay, like there's still some really exciting, super high fantasy, awesome stuff that is going on here. So even though, we might be kind of trying to cater to that, that audience that we spoke of, we're not, sacrificing any of like the depth and complexity and excitement that you'd expect in an MMO.
And tell us what you learned about our classes. Like, I don't know, specifically, because I mean, I get excited about the same thing. Like, did you see classes that you'd want to play?
Yeah, so I actually guide me here just for a moment. Like, I don't know how much has been shared or how much can be shared
We
in terms
can
of like
we
what
can
we
be
have
kind of like
planned.
vague a little bit. So you can kind of talk in general terms, I guess.
Yeah. So okay, so what I think is, first of all, like, the holy trinity of like tank, DPS, and healer, like that's going to be here. We expect that. And I think that I personally love that. It's just so core to what we expect with MMOs, and so I love that was going to be there. But there's this really cool aspect of Haven where we have our list of classes, and I can't remember exactly how many it is. Let's just say 7, 8, 9 classes or something like that. But there's a really cool aspect with Haven where you have a class, but there's what term, kind of generic term, can I use? Let's say there's sort of like elements that are core to the world of Haven, and we can think of just like generic sort of like fire and wind and something like that. And so this class system is kind of a combination of what element are you aligned with and your class, and then all of a sudden you get a bunch of diversity. So it's like you might have two, let's say, warrior classes, but there might be a difference in kind of how that warrior plays and what your skills look like based on what kind of element you have, which is just really cool because again it adds this really fun complexity and the flavor to to the traditional class system. I'm super excited.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at the class list right now, and like, we really have been building an elemental based magic system because we wanted to try a different flavor of fantasy. But like the combination of the roles plus the element and the personality that implies, that's like I'm so excited to actually get to execute. And like, what do those characters look like? What are they wearing? And what does their armor look like? We lean very much into like the classic fantasy roles, but with a twist. Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Well, and I think also, just speaking of a related aspect, is kind of the art direction that I've been able to look at with Haven, and totally leaning into that like high fantasy, super fun, stylized art direction, which is just going to fit so well with like the classes and the elements we have. And like you said, it's like, what is the armor going to look like? And, how do you express your personality within each of these classes? It's going to be, I think there's just endless possibility. It could be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your thoughts there, and I can't wait to continue to dig into our systems. And that's, we're not even touching on like the building system that we've been talking about, and
Right.
like the village and the progression there. And but like the stylized art that Tom Eng has had his team produced, like it feels like this blend between fantasy and like animated television series, and with little hints of like like the Clone Wars kind of vibe-ish, but a little bit of Steven Universe. And it's just kind of like a blend of all these things that comes together in such a fun way. Family friendly, but still like unique and cutting edge. I cannot wait to
Yeah,
share with
no,
you
yeah,
all.
couldn't agree more. It's really fun. I think there's a lot of focus on like realistic and high fidelity graphics and things like that nowadays, which totally has its place. And like there's
Mhm.
really awesome games that are doing cool stuff. But like when we talk about high fantasy adventure MMO with friends, and in our case, like, I'm gonna, my son's eventually gonna play with me and stuff like that. Like, there's just something that's just so fun and playful about that stylized art for a game like a fantasy MMO. I love it.
Yeah, and one of the things that it buys us too, which is so cool, is that it allows us to build cross-platform, because the less like high realism that we go for with art, the lower res textures that we can use, or if we rely mostly on lighting to be able to create shape rather than painting stuff in, we can run on lower and lower processing power devices. And like, I mean, maybe someday, like, I'm not committing to this. I'm not allowed to commit to this because somebody will yell at me for even saying this out loud, but I'm going to say it anyway. But like, my pipe dream is to have Haven available in VR.
That would be wild, wouldn't it?
Yes, yes. So like a game you could play from your phone all the way to VR, like with like consoles and PCs in between. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever been.
I'm getting yelled at. I told you. I told
Don't
you.
say VR. Don't clip it. Like, forget. It's just we're just.
But we'll have, yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Again, pipe dream. I said pipe dream. It's not real. Not real yet. Well, speaking of which, since we cannot play it, in VR now and look funny with our, any sort of Apple or Quest headsets, that would be a weird stream, wouldn't it? We'd be like the whole time with the Quest headsets. But instead, you want to play Haven?
Yeah, let's play it.
Let's do this. All right.
I'm gonna
load up
move this over to the other screen. So if anyone, the reason why I'm looking at is just, camera's now over here. So,
yes, here we go. What class are you going to make? This is the ultimate question.
Oh, it totally is. Okay, well, actually, I'm going to pick a name first, and I'm going to just go with my classic name. It's my name backwards, or my last name backwards. So
awesome.
That's where we're going. Okay, so let's see. We've got healer, mage.
Hold on. I totally forgot. We have a new order, and I totally messed things up.
Oh,
so before we jump in.
Oh, yes, you're right. No, we have to watch
first,
this.
The teaser.
Hurry, hide the screen. Play the teaser.
Is it?
The world we once knew has been lost to shadow. Was it thunder and fire and brimstone? Drowned in flood and rain? Was it tragic decadence? A great fall? Unspeakable corruption? Or did the awakening of magic destroy our world? No one knows for certain. Reach through the shadowy mists. Find a fragment of land infested with shadowy corruption, yet lit enough to find your way. Find a creature of light, a sylph. They are friendly and willing to guide you. Perhaps the two of you can find other survivors. Perhaps this land can serve as a shelter. Perhaps together you can build a sort of haven. Forge friendships to save the world.
All right, Tyler.
Hooray.
Now let's go forge a friendship and let's go save that world.
Let's do it.
We are back. Right. Let's make your character.
Okay, yes. Oh gosh, it's always, this is It's actually probably a good thing that we obviously, because of how early Haven is, it's so simplified right now. Because I would probably spend the rest of the time here just deciding what to do. So, all right, we're gonna go with
Relatable.
We're gonna go with okay, healer, mage, or well, what are you? What are you? You're jumping in too, right?
Yeah, no, I'm usually the responsive one. So you get to pick whatever class. What would you normally play?
Oh man, okay, so that is totally up in the air. In a game that has a druid type class, that's my first go to, like druid or a hunter type thing. So we haven't quite got there yet. So I'm gonna go with healer. Let's do a healer.
All right,
Yep.
you are a healer, and I'm
I'm
going to join in as a mage to counterpart.
I'm responsible and care about my party.
That is very kind of you and really selfless.
Yes.
As all
totally.
healers are, and healers are very underappreciated. And it's
Right.
good that I'm not the healer because I'm not a very good one.
Well,
'Cause
as
I
long
get
as you
easily
as long as you don't stand in the fire, I'll help you out. So okay.
Well, our fire is healing rather than burning in our game. So currently,
don't stand in the shadow then.
yeah, there we go. There we go. Oh, hey.
Oh, hello. Look at that.
I came to visit you in your home.
Yes.
But go forth. I'm following you.
Well, let me. The first thing I've got to look at the ability bar because, like I said, this is where I like to nerd out at things. So I kind of want to see what's going on here now. Obviously, right now, like these are just prototype things. Like we just kind of have some generic prototype.
Oh, these are the basic abilities.
And yeah. Yeah, perfect.
And we don't really have any sort of like progression built in with these abilities. Like this is a picture of like a player at level 5.
Sure.
Maybe like 7. So we didn't kind of slow that down for the sake of our demo, just to make things a little bit faster.
Yeah, perfect. All right, let's go forward. And then I think, there we go. We're gonna just chop some branches out of the way. What is this?
Very well done.
Harvesting. Yeah, there's a lot of distractions in a good way, right? Like I haven't made it out of the starting circle and I'm like, well, I just want to make sure I get this rock and these branches and these weeds. And then
I want to ask you a question over here.
Oh, wait, we have a question? We have something.
Look. I want to ask you a question.
Oh, so good. And then
womp womp womp
womp womp womp. And then a crude hatchet. Is that like better than the hatchet that I have? Can I click on something over here? Quests, build. Nope. No, we're gonna get there.
Hey,
armor.
Window roulette is a great way to start.
Here we go. I got a hatchet. What can I do with this hatchet? Or is that like a weapon? Is that what that hatchet is for?
Yeah, you could.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. I think I'll keep my staff for now, being a healer
but
and all.
Don't as we're saying here, don't sleep on ability number 5. That's your It's an instant cast damage. That's a nice little nuke there.
Oh yeah, look at that. Okay.
Don't knock it.
And
but you're being attacked.
Look at that. Dead zone.
I got you.
And then I'm just gonna heal
myself. You got debuffed though.
Did I get a debuff? Do we have our debuffs somewhere?
So buffs and debuffs will be in the upper right. But check out ability number 6 too.
Number 6. What do we? Oh, that's right. Reduces target's damage taken by 50%. That's actually wild. That's like can I give that to you too? There we go.
You sure can, and I just gave you mine.
Oh, look at that. Damage and healing increased by 100%. These are some souped up prototype abilities we got. Big fan.
Yup.
Okay.
Well, we wanted it to be impactful when you got a buff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, love that. Love that. Which actually, yeah, I think that's really cool. Like, obviously, it's so early, but is that like a core sort of idea that we want buffs to be super, super important, like, in yes. final form as well?
Yes, because we want people's so a buff is something that I can give you as a gift that costs me very little, but you hold a high value for it. So you're going to want to get a buff from a mage whenever you can. And actually it's a driver to make sure that we all have the same round of buffs from all three classes, because they are so valuable. They essentially double your power.
Yeah.
So it's a high incentive, and we'll see how that scales. But it becomes a way to, like, you want to seek out other players, and it's one of the small mechanisms that we use to drive player to player interaction.
Yeah, and this may be way into the weeds, so you can just say that's way into the weeds. But what
We like weeds.
when right now, like like where my brain goes is like, okay, well right now we've got like three kind of basic classes, but I know we have a plan to have more, right? Is that like every class has a unique buff, and so there's 8 or 9 buffs that you're looking for, or like do we have shared buffs, or what's kind of the idea there?
Well, that is actually a question that we would want to answer. Like, what does it mean when you have
Yeah.
like a class that it's a specific role, like all the tanks, but they have their elemental expression? So, but do we really want 20 buffs on a player character as
Right.
they're walking around, or have to collect 20 buffs? So one of the ways that we reduce that down and make that simplified is by having that like role-based class system, so that even we only have like 4 primary roles, and then you really only have four buffs that you'd need to get, and then we can find a way to like make them like stack
Yeah.
with the cute elemental bonuses or whatever.
Now
But that's something that we have to figure out.
you said 4 primary roles.
Mm-hmm.
What's the fourth? Tank, damage, healer, and then is that like a support, like a dedicated support?
Yeah, dedicated support. Like, currently it's spec'd out. Let me see. I had the class list up. I'm not going to share screen, friends. No, you can't. You can't pay me enough to share the screen right now. But we have healers, tanks, melee, and ranged.
Oh, okay. So damage dealers is as kind of 2 different, split into 2. That makes sense. Okay. Sweet.
Yes, because any game that I play and or make must have a monk in it.
Love it.
And
Love it.
I love the monk class. It was one of my favorites in in EverQuest, and I was one of the core advocates for getting the monk into Pandaria when we were doing early expansion planning on WoW.
That's awesome.
But hey, so
what
here we are.
What are we looking at here?
Well, before you run, click on that. There should be quests there.
NPC, let's see, build, shelter, and explore. Oh, quests right here. Gather wood.
And it looks like you've already gathered the requisite wood.
Accept and complete. Done.
You've got wood.
Yay. Okay, build a fire now. Construct a fire. Okay.
As one should.
Oh no, I can't.
You got to build the fire.
Okay. All right. So let's see. I'm gonna take a wild guess and say I click on the build button here.
You did it.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Do I like have stuff for this already? Can I just build it? Build a fire right here.
Let's see.
Check it out.
You dropped it. And so you've just dropped down the object, but you still have to fully construct it and light it.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's light a fire because I have the wood we've discovered.
Here, let me help you out.
Hey!
Doesn't that feel good? Like,
that's so great. It just makes it faster, right?
Yeah. Simply.
And I'm assuming if I didn't have the wood, you could have contributed said materials as well, right? Yeah, sweet.
Absolutely. It's very open and social to contribute. You can't take stuff out, but you can put stuff in.
Yeah.
One of my favorite tips, and this happened early at my time at Blizzard, was when I got to see Sid Meier speak, and he gave us some of his game design wisdom. And per the buffs that we talked about, one of the philosophies that he typically builds with when he was building Civilization and his subsequent games was that, like, when designing and when tuning, either double it or cut it in half. Fractions like beyond those variables are just not worth it, because you want to have big swings to actually feel how it feels, and you can fine tune later. But And hey, we have our friend Destin here. Hey, thanks for joining us, Destin. Yeah.
Hello, hello.
Destin is actually a startup founder and creator of a really cool like multiplayer running battle app. It's
Nice.
called Cardio. I think it's cardio.io if you go check that out. Destin, post the URL for your app. But it's so cool. It's like a territory war. But you have to go out and run and claim territory.
That's awesome.
It's super. Yeah. Cool. Thanks for joining us, Destin. All right. So another thing is that your house really matters. Or actually, just go ahead and turn in that quest. Or did you?
Oh no, that's a good point. That's a good point. And complete.
Well, you can't remember it because there's no like quest log.
Is there another one? Here we go. Build house. Yes, perfect. Okay, I've accepted the build house quest.
All right, let's do this.
Oh, is that in my? No, it's not in my building.
Oh, wait, we are in a different. Are we back where you started? Maybe not. Here, let's come over here to the this magenta pillar.
Okay,
these are our stand-ins straight off of the Unity Asset Store. Check it out.
Love that. A big fan of the Unity Asset Store.
Oh my goodness, you can learn so much. Hot secret, you know, there's a bunch of little things that helped us fill in this prototype from the Asset Store. Okay. Go support those game developers because that's how they're making money right now. They're trying to survive this downturn in the industry. But here you can definitely build a house.
Can I build it all the way? Oh, nope, that's too far. Okay. Let's build a house. You know, right here seems like a great place for a house, I think. Oh, wait.
It's like a house kite.
Okay, so I need 3. Wow, it's a pretty what's the word? A cheap house. Low cost materials. Yeah, I love that. Okay, well, let's see.
You know, we were tuning for 15 minutes of gameplay for the demo, so. But we can make that longer if you like. Wink, wink.
Right. Okay, let's see. So
you have enough?
I seem to have enough, but how do I something?
See, this is a bug.
Something seems not working here.
It is working, but it's just such a bad UX. We have to fix it.
So I'm trying to press add.
And that's not working. You have to double click on the item in your backpack. See, I'm not afraid to call us out for a bad UX. We just haven't been able to fix it.
There it is.
But this is what happens when you make video games, is that you have to like judge or make decisions as to what you can work on versus others, and prioritizing hard.
Well, I think that's what's. Yeah, well, I was going to say, I think that's what's it's unique that because game development for the longest time has been it's very like closed doors, right? And so there's not a lot of insight into what goes on in the super early days, like, you know, when we have a 15-minute prototype and you know, what the goals are, and it's like, hey, like we want to just like make sure this game works. We want to make sure that the idea that we have here is what's important, which is why it's, you know, we don't focus on things like complex systems and UX and you know, graphics and art and all that stuff. Like we just want to make sure that what we have feels good in its concept. So
yeah, as a prototype, it's good enough. And, you know, there's a lot more that we want to do to the building system. So we'd rather do that all at once rather than doing little individual piecemeal things. Mm-hmm. Because if we do the piecemeal thing, we might end up just putting a Band-Aid on something that we don't want to keep in the first place. So that would be wasted work. And it's building new on top of tech debt. So might as well take the time when it's possible. I'm not even helping you. I'm just making you take forever.
Well, you're just the supervisor, right? Like you're just you're making sure I was doing everything correctly.
And you're not. So clearly I have to start hammering too.
Yes. Yeah. Perfect. You're it's like, okay, like, yeah, I'll just come finish the job for you. You know,
and take all the credit.
So I do have a question that you just reminded me of when it comes to the building system. So I think that's something that is, you know, as we've talked and we've kind of looked at the, you know, documents and vision and things like that. With Haven, obviously, you know, we have MMO and traditional MMO elements and adventure, you know, dungeons and all that stuff. But the building or the crafting is really important. In fact, we've even kind of talked about the survival genre. Can you help me kind of understand like where, in terms of like the balance of like traditional MMO, dungeons, adventures, classes, bosses, enemies, quests, and stuff, and that sort of survival, building a community and building up your town, where does Haven want to sit on that spectrum?
Well, we think that there's a lot of room for a game that feels like World of Warcraft, but is fresh. And one of the ways that we're trying to make that fresh is by adding that survival element. But the emphasis is more on the RPG than on the survival. We're really inspired by Valheim. We loved Valheim. And in fact, for me, when I played Valheim in beta, I felt like that game was the closest thing to like early EverQuest that I had played in 20 years. And it really re-inspired me to like, and with how big it got really, really early on, I realized that the market really loves that survival element, but sometimes it can be off-putting because there's so many survival games, and like survival like now has like these tropes of, oh, you got to collect wood. I mean, we even have that trope in our prototype, right? Of like these basic things that you have to do, and every single survival game now starts the same way. So we want to take that into consideration when we do our final systems, is build something to where you have that need to do this, like the building and that community building and like build up your village and have something where you can express yourselves as a group, but not have it be so onerous that you're going around and collecting like a million pieces of wood just to build a single house, and you feel like you're just picking up sticks for your 40-minute gameplay session. There's some fast forwarding that we can do where we can emphasize, like Palia had, it put you very, very quickly into home decorating and home building. And there's something really interesting to be learned there. And like, how can we make it a little bit more casual and a soft survival game rather than that hard, Rust like, or, V Rising kind of hardcore survival gameplay.
Yeah, that's really cool. I think, in just about every MMO and every MMO community, like player housing is everyone, a lot of games do it and a lot of games don't, but like that's such it's always on the top of like what communities are asking for. And so it kind of feels like, that's kind of the goal, but just a step maybe above, more than just, buy your house and decorate it, like, and a little bit closer to that survival. And like, there's a little bit more there, and kind of involve the community, and, do a little bit more of that, like crafting survival sort of thing, while still not taking away from the main, let's go on an adventure and do stuff.
Well, do you want to go on an adventure and do stuff?
Let's go on an adventure and do stuff.
Yeah. All right. So come
go?
over here to this pillar.
Oh, okay. I got ahead of myself. Back of the pillar.
That's okay. You saw that button before. This is our very, like, we're going to ship with this command: teleport Adventureland.
Love that.
Very in lore.
Okay. I'm going to click on that.
Let's click it. Let's go.
Let's go to Adventureland. Ooh.
So this is a simulation of what it would be like in our more final game, is that you should be able to run to the edge of the forest, and it will transport you through like the entire edge of the zone will be a teleporter that will bring you to new terrain.
Oh, okay.
But we right now have stand-ins with these pillars because the beacons, because they make life a little bit easier.
Oh, wait, I think we're missing some buffs. Let's bring those back.
Oh yeah, we are.
There we go. All right, now we're good. Perfect. Okay, so which should we go towards that house, or do we go? Which way do we go?
I'm following you.
You're following me? Okay, I'm gonna go see if anyone lives here at this house. I'm just gonna check this rock just in case there's something important.
Just while we're passing by. I mean, you don't want to leave it.
You can't. So snowman.
Hey, look, It's Olaf.
You'd think he'd be melting right now, but I guess not.
Well,
Magic.
some people are worth melting for.
True.
But not us, apparently.
True.
He's just going to hang out there.
Can we go inside this house?
No.
No.
Come
Okay.
on. We can't break it down. But wouldn't this be like a cool little dungeon entrance?
Wouldn't
You
that
could
be?
open it up.
And you know, walk down into the cellar and
Very Diablo-like. But yes,
Ooh,
exactly
love
what
that.
we're thinking. These little
More Kraken
vignettes of
roots.
adventure.
What kind of range? Oh wow, I got some good range on these spells here.
Oh, yeah, you
Oh,
do.
look, I'm debuffed. Slowed. There you go. Oh, look, I got a health potion.
We like this. We like to have potions. Are you like a potion user that like uses them as you have them, or do you like hoard them?
Listen, you never know what you might need them for, so you have to save them.
I so agree with you. That's like legit. I end up like at the end of the game with a ton of potions because I'm afraid to use them ever.
Right. Just in case you are in a dire situation, you know, you can never you know, you want to have at least 100 of each kind of potion. It has nothing to do with forgetting that I have them. And
Nothing at all. Never.
No, it's a gameplay choice. Oh no, this one's actually chasing after me. Ah, now there's two.
Yep.
Okay.
We don't have a tank, so
I'm gonna use my instant heal, so we'll be all right. We'll be all right.
I'm gonna try to get this thing. Yeah, we did it.
That instant heal is no joke though.
Of the two classes, but of like the three classes, the combo that has the best chance of being like just high enough powered as a duo is mage and healer.
Okay. All right.
As you know, we've learned.
See, yeah, so we knew that, which is why we selected said classes.
Yeah, totally. We planned it this way.
Exactly.
We need more mobs though. We only have like these two primary models. In EverQuest, they just cheated.
Target dead. Oh, wow.
I think I nuked that one. In EverQuest, they cheated and they just had the same model repeated over and over again, but just different sizes.
That's amazing. Are we? Am I heading in any specific direction, or are we just looking around here?
This is a randomly generated zone, so I have no idea where we're going either.
Okay.
This is. Yeah. What?
Well, I was gonna say, talk to me about that. Is that like these randomly generated zones? Is that something that is just for the prototype, or is that something that we actually want to do for the final game?
So that's what we want to do for the final game. And in fact, we want to be able to randomly generate zones that can hold up to like 100 people. So imagine a Fortnite style battle royale, except PvE. And, you know, we may come from our village, but we'll run into people from other villages in these zones. So that like a shared space that can cross through servers. So your village is a private space with you and your friends, and then out here is kind of the public. And you could set up filters where we'll have like parental controls and things like that for you know what groups you can join up with. But that's something to think about as well for the future.
Let's see. It says we can go to the island zone. There's more mobs there.
Is that, yes, that is true.
Where's
There's
said
mobs
island
here
zone?
Too. Island Land. As named by Dave Chan. Oh, that Kraken root. Oh, you just like soloed that thing. You're OP.
I'm telling you that flare is no joke. We've got something serious going on here.
Especially with that mage buff where you're doing like double damage.
Yeah, exactly. Easily two-shotting at this point.
So our terrain generation system is super cool. We can set up like a texture set for biomes, and we can generate a zone with a biome of like specific trees or a variety of trees and grasses and objects, interactable objects. So all of the objects here are entirely placed programmatically. And then we can also set up vignettes of handmade stuff for game designers to be like, okay, this is a POI, and something very specific and scripted is going to happen here.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we ended up back at home.
I think we did. Okay, let's see. I think
snowman.
Now, this may be way too ambitious here, but is there like a boss in the zone?
There is.
We should go face the boss.
Well, that's the thing, is that we have to find the teleporter.
We have to
for the
we
boss.
got to find the teleporter. Do we have a cheat sheet? Probably not, since we don't know anything about this zone, huh?
Well, we do have a cheat, and maybe we should cheat. Let's go back home. In position number 8, you should have.
The only time that cheating is acceptable is in early game dev.
Right. I'm gonna try to teleport to you. I teleported. Haha.
Perfect.
I just appeared magically. We need more VFX in this game. We need development money so we can get a tech artist to make our VFX better.
That's right.
All right. So you want to know the shortcut?
I do.
All right. Where are we? I always have to orient myself. Oh, come over here. There's a secret Disneyland over here.
Ooh.
Not a real Disneyland, but
I'm a big fan of both real and secret Disneylands.
So this is the boss. This is the boss level, and then over here is Island Land.
Okay.
Well, you can only if you could only do one, which would you choose?
Oh, we're going to Cobblemot's lair for sure.
Oh,
is there a quest?
It is on like Donkey Kong.
Is this even possible with 2 people? We're about to find out.
We're about to find out with no tank. Oh, this isn't going to go well. I believe in us.
Oh wait, is he already chasing me?
No, he's pathing.
No. Okay. All right, we're gonna start with Searing Light, and we're going.
Oh no, he's mad. He's mad. Just keep healing yourself. You can be the tank.
We're just gonna spam heals. Is that what we're doing here?
Yep. Oh, you did it. We got him down like 10%.
All right. we're gonna be here for a while, but we got this.
Oh yeah. Don't worry about me.
Is he? Oh, did we root him?
I think we might have bugged him out. He keeps getting bugged.
Yeah, you know what? Why. You know what? If that means that we are gonna beat him, then I'm cool with that.
We'll take it. Okay.
We'll take it.
I agree with you. But yeah, I like this boss fight to be extra hard, and now it's going to be extra easy. Womp womp.
Can I taunt him? Taunted.
Ooh, having the healer taunt, that's always a good play.
That's right.
This is totally fine.
If we zone out and zone back in, will it is that a thing we can do? To try to beat him for real?
We can try.
Let's try. You need that sense of accomplishment, you know?
Oh, you're gonna have to find the shortcut
run
again.
Back to it again. Okay, that's okay. I think it's right over here. Look at that. There's the magical tree.
We're right next door. Convenient. Oh, but we might want to. Oh shoot, we need a rested buff. I've just noticed because my running speed went really, really slow.
We need a rested buff. Can we get that easily?
You have to get it from a house. But you know what? We can just Leroy Jenkins. I'll get the rested buff.
We don't need buffs.
Yeah, we'll be totally fine.
Just our basic buffs. Let's see. I think where's my inventory? Let's make sure. Can I drag? Oh yeah, I can drag this. We're gonna drag my health pots and my mana pots onto my bar here.
Yeah. See, this is sure like strategic play. That's what we're going for.
We're prepping. Good old Ray Prep. All
This
right,
is
are
what
we
we
ready?
like to see. Oh, his health is back up. Oh. All right, let's do this.
All right,
We got no
let's go.
choice.
Going in.
We got no strings to hold us down. Oh, we're at the end of the stream. All right, keep spamming those heals, and while you're trying not to die, you tell us, Tyler, what do you think so far?
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of really cool things that are going on. Did he bug out again? I think he bugged out again.
Yeah, I think you bugged out again.
But that's okay. I think that
We'll burn him down.
there's so much potential here, which I think is exactly like what you want for a game or an MMO or really anything that's early in development. The bones are there, right? And that's I think what's important. I think the vision of the game, and that's why I reached out in the first place, right? Is that I just really felt connected with what you guys are doing, the audience that you're trying to serve, the niche that you're trying to fill. It's just really exciting. So
well, awesome. Thank you so much for bugging out Cobblemont with me today.
He's just scared. He couldn't handle it.
He's scared of us. No, he's really just shaking in his boots. It's my level 10ness that is now out of mana. Oh gosh.
That's right.
So I have 1 mana potion.
Oh, I was like, can I share a mana potion mid combat?
I don't know if we can trade mid combat. We haven't tried.
Here.
I can give it a shot.
Click on you, trade, inventory.
Is it gonna work? Ooh, hey, thanks.
Did you get him?
I got more mana potions. I did.
All right, check it out. I mean, whether that's intended or not, it worked out in our case,
Well, see, but allowing for trade in the middle of combat, which typically an MMO wouldn't allow you to do, but that's like a way that you can support another player who is maybe being pretty clutch in a fight. Right? Where like everybody load up 1 person with mana potions.
Oh, look, he's running.
He's scared of us.
I mean, you think about the realistic part of it. It's like I can hand someone a mana potion mid fight, right? Like,
yeah, you want to be able to, like, if you need to throw an extra knife to somebody in the middle of a knife fight, if they've dropped theirs, like you can.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, I just anticlimactically talked over Cobblemot's death. So instead, woohoo!
Hooray!
Yeah.
Hurrah!
Bye-bye. Have a good dirt nap, Cobblemot. Well, thank you so much for joining us for this playtest, Tyler.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate your feedback, your thoughts, and also your help joining us and helping us just move the prototype forward and come up with some of those key things like you were talking about solving, so that we can get this game out to players and more players. Yes, we love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for letting me join you today, and I'm really excited, and this was a lot of fun, and I can't wait to continue to move forward with this thing.
Oh, thanks so much. And everybody who joined us, thank you much for joining us. And please do remember to like and subscribe so you can be notified of next Friday when we're live. And we'll see you then. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye.
See ya.
Hit that button and buy a t-shirt with a dragon on it, and that will help us keep making some awesome games. Looks like this. I've already seen a Unleashed t-shirt out in the wild that I wasn't wearing, and I'm super excited about seeing more of them. So, yeah, buy a t-shirt.